Watching television, mass media, and as you're getting indoctrinated in your institutionalization, you have to be very cognizant of your linguistics. Okay, this is genocidal operations. And it's not really I don't believe it's a tribal thing as much anymore as I think it's more of a secular and insular thing. But I think it has the ego is so insane and broken that it can't get out of its way. I from what I see by the linguistics and by see the advertising and the activities, we have the best. Well, we don't yet. We don't have the best technology in the history of the world. We will have the best technology in the history of the world. And when we have the best technology in the history of the world, it will be used to do things right, correctly, healthy, honoring natural laws given to us by an infinite essence so we can have an eternal existence because of the gifts of the infinite essence. You got the infinite essence. You don't have to look just because people take the. How many people say they love you and then attempt to murder you? I love you, now vote for president so I can make lots of money and kill people that are trying to take my money. Okay, so are you going to blame the word love for the way the pervert uses the word? Right? So why would you blame the words religion and truth and faith and God on the use of the words by perverts? Okay. And you got to understand this sheriff, this whatever these TV shows are, okay. Sheriff country, anything that you're doing that promotes irrational, relative, genocidal interactive through not understanding Psalms, not understanding Proverbs, not understanding the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer. No, the AI, artificial general intelligence, and quantum computing has access to this literature. And the literature, when you understand it linguistically and mathematically and realize where the mathematical and linguistics errors are, the same way I did. And I said, I knew a young man, Alan, I knew lots of people, but Alan was very specific about it. We talked about it, was the linguistics errors and the mathematical errors in the religious documentation. And that's when I was like, well, you knew there was something wrong. Well, maybe, no, Jesus didn't screw up and Muhammad didn't screw up. The people that wrote it down used it to manipulate people so they could manipulate people with delusions to feel powerful. Okay. Most of you guys sit your whole lives, and you've probably been doing this for tens of thousands of years through relatives and molecular similitude. Okay, so you're genetically predisposed to sit and debate comic books as if they were a reality. You have a magic place that you think you're going to end up in after you're dead. And you think you're going to be, if all the relatives that ended up finding the secret to get into that magic place after they're dead, and all the relatives that didn't get the secret or didn't care have gone to another magic place that you don't want to go to because you think it's horrible. But how horrible is planet Earth because you debate comic books over the magic of this secret fucking place? Yeah, I said it. Fucking place. I'll say it again. I hate it. I hate fighting and fucking over money. It sucks. So don't think that it's funny. I hate it. There, I said it again. I hate it. Go read the book of Revelation. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but you have to be able to understand the linguistics and the application of physics and mathematics. And when the application of physics are off, then you know something's wrong with the translation or the purposeful manipulation to continue tribalism and believing in fantasy. Because when you get people to believe in fantasy and you're in the upper echelon and you're in the position to manipulate, Judah Krishnamurti talked about this, Marvin Gaye, and some people are born with races to win and stuff like that. So people have talked about this for years, that the genetic molecular similitudes and the biological psychological conditioning go right back into similar patterns. I did my best, but it came my best. Yeah, here we are back where we were before. And so, and it's going to be that way as long as you accept the ego over the glory of God. Okay, do you understand? And so, oh man, I'm tired. I'm so sick of the fucking assholes in the place. I sat and we recorded the Merchant Marines versus the Coast Guard, and it says, it's the Division III Army Navy, and there's a greater purpose. There's a greater purpose. Are any of those little bastards standing up for the Lord's Prayer? No, I saw one of the little fuckers take the Coast Guard kid took on towards his bench and took the guy from the Merchant Marines and tried to shove him into the bench. Sit him down on the bench, on the thing. Didn't get a penalty. And then the guy, they're letting him play. They're letting him play? He's being a little asshole. He needs to be penalized or sat down. Okay? You need to sit down. Okay? We're here playing tackle football. We're all on the same fucking team. You're the Coast Guard. They're the Merchant Marines. God bless a fucking America. Sit down. You need to take a time out before I break my foot off in your ass, and that would be a waste of a perfectly good foot. Okay. I'm a better football coach than either one of those Peckerwoods at Fenway today. Okay, do you understand? Or was it yesterday? I don't care. Okay. Assholes. Here's your Coast Guard and here's your Merchant Marines. Okay? Fuck you and fuck you too. Merchant Marines, just in the name itself. Okay? Muhammad didn't want to be a merchant. His uncle hated being a merchant. His uncle was so excited when Muhammad ended debt and trespass, and they didn't have to go leave their families to go sell things. Everybody shared, cared, and given occasion to lead and built to last. Like Proverbs. Assholes! I don't give a fuck if Kirk and James Cameron are watching this going, there's no way this guy can be the Messiah. He cusses too much. Look, hypocrite, go sell your grandma's dead body for necrophiliac sex on South Park and tell Isaac Hayes if he's still alive. I said, fuck the hell off. You know? They say that Ralph is a bad motherfucker. Only if she asked me to. And even then, I don't really like it that much. I'd rather tell her you're an angel sent from heaven to make me feel alive, No, none of the girls I was with like that. It made them feel perverse. I think it's a lot of your brain conditioning. You should be able to make love to a woman and say that to her, and her be fine with you saying that to her without Penny going, oh my God, you said, will you marry me during sex? It's like, yeah, that probably would have been more appropriate to say it before sex. All you Big Bang Theoryers. Okay, Mr. Chuck Lorre there. Who says that during sex? You usually shouldn't have to. You should already be married and then having sex. But this is a different world than where we came from. In our society, no. Marriage is economic an institution for indoctrination and incarceration. Okay. So it's not marriage. It's just bumping uglies for money in hell. Okay. I always considered once I started having sex with a girl and we were, this is like making babies. I want to have babies with you and I want to raise the babies with you and I want to love you for a lifetime, That was hard. The first girl I had a consistent sexual relationship with lied to me about her age. So we could have sex in Arizona. I was 20, she was 16. She told me she was 17. She was a senior in high school. I didn't grab her ID and check. I'm not the sex booty police. I trusted her. And I know that when she had to get an abortion, I'm not exactly sure because she was having sex with other guys that her mom wanted her to have sex with that were black guys. But she didn't want to stay in a relationship with them because she did not like them and or trust them. She was sexually attracted to them, but she didn't think they were, good relationship material. Because they were not trustworthy. They screwed everything. Yeah. And then me and Law I don't know how Rockefeller works, but me and Law, when we were having dinner and Law got to meet Kelly, Tom's wife, who had cancer, and Tom, they said, was falling apart last time I ever heard about him because his wife had cancer. But she was raised in Phoenix and she was sexually abused and life was really hard on her. She was a sweetheart of a kid, though. Me and her were both... We had dinner. It's funny because Tom has radically changed. We changed his racism, all these cool things. He was like a Wyoming Malcolm X. He just radically changed hanging out with us, and his whole life changed. And then when we sat at dinner that night, me and Kelly were like, yeah, let's watch football, and they wanted to watch professional wrestling, and me and Kelly are like, what the who watches professional wrestling? It's soap opera for dudes. It's like, who wants to watch that? You can watch football. So I like football. Professional wrestling, soap operas for dudes? No. Okay, so we're sitting there. And then Law was really into professional wrestling, and they sat and talked about professional wrestling for like an hour, right? With the little black girl. It was so cute. Tom's all, I like her. I was like, and me and Kelly are like, hasn't he come such a long way since he first got here from Wyoming? Yeah, we've totally fixed him. It's totally cute. But then after we left after dinner and stuff, we were getting ready to leave. We were sitting there talking in the car, and Law was talking about how neat it was. And I said, yeah, too. And then we looked, and I looked over, and I saw this little red Yugo at an apartment about 3 doors down. I said, oh, my gosh. I go, what? She goes, that's Raquel. She goes, what? She was leaving an apartment, and there was a guy standing in a bath towel, and they were kissing outside the thing. She got in the car, and she left. And then right after she left, another woman came up to the door or parked in the parking spot, just about 5 or so minutes right after she left. Okay. Pulled up and he opened the door in his towel and she kissed him and walked in, right? And Law's like, oh my gosh, she's the side chick for the, or she's the girlfriend. And we sat there and said, what do you think it is? Do you think she's the girlfriend that's getting screwed around on, or she's the one screwing around on the living girlfriend? I don't know. I don't want to know. Okay. I do not want to know. But that kind of stuff, so many people are engaged in that kind of lifestyle because we don't live Psalms, we don't live Proverbs, we don't apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer. It's horrible. And lives are selfish and vicious and aggressive and absolutely meaningless. And it's a disgusting insult to what's necessary, the natural laws to sustain our physical existence. Like when I was talking to those kids at ASU after our Islamic studies class with the kids from the Middle East, with the American kids. And the American kids were sitting there saying, well, if I lived back in the day, and Moses parted the Red Sea and Jesus raised the dead, I'd believe in God too. And I was sitting there looking around going, you mean to tell me that the atmosphere, the bumblebee, the tree, and the birds on the tree, and all the pretty girls on this canvas isn't enough to make you believe in something greater that gave us life to continue life through, loving what's given to us to have life and loving one another? And the American kids were like, well, I got to have the fantasy football league and the pie in the sky and the Wizard of Oz and the gold, and the Weirby slippers. And the Muslim kids who had been, their families had been being mass murdered off the face of the planet because of secular tribalism through status quo genocidal economics. Or standing there listening to me go, he's all with their arms folded, shaking their heads, going, he's right, he gets it, right? He gets Islam. We just sat in Islamic studies class for the thing, and they were trying to tell you, that the religion has to be pragmatic and it has to be based on reality. And there was still some magical bullshit put in the Quran, but it wasn't Muhammad that put it in the Quran. It was the people that did the same thing that the Romans did with Jesus and the apostles. Try to kill them off the face of the planet, replace them with your brand, and then say this is our brand, and then get people believing in stuff that's magic. So they accept money, they accept violence, philanthropy, and heroic activities through violence and philanthropy and money and aggressive sexuality and all the disgustingness that you guys do and think you're so special, witty, talented, charming, attractive, and important. All you have to do is just take a look at all your presidents and realize you're not. Okay. Well, Jack's different. Jack was killed by the people that were jealous of him. Okay, do you understand? But since then, we have all these people that are jealous of the people that are better than them, try to kill them off and replace them and do business with people that walk up to me and say, we could kill you, run you over the parking lot of a Best Buy if you never existed. And then I have to watch these stupid commercials with these macho guys talking about how don't put trash all over New Mexico. well, stand up for the Lord's Prayer. All we got is a bunch of people making money off of the trash, walking around in their designer boots all over New Mexico. If you don't like that, kiss my ass, pendejo. You little puto. Don't talk to me. I'll talk to you. I talk right. You're getting it all fucking wrong. Okay? I love you. Peace.